5 cities in Ukraine, all of them now surrounded by Vladimir Putin's forces as Ukrainians face the fear of more attacks. Joining us now with the very latest, senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky. He's in Ukraine, and also Phil Lipoff is still in Poland following, of course, all the refugees fleeing there. Aaron, let's start with you. Kyiv's mayor saying that Russian military convoy we've been monitoring now on the edge of the city. What's next in this battle for Kyiv?
That's the question, isn't it, Kira? That convoy has been menacing the Ukrainian capital for several days, poised to advance into the city at any time when the Russians can get it started after some food and fuel and other logistical problems. But there are troops encircling several other Ukrainian cities, and those troops could easily, after that, move toward the Ukrainian capital. It gives Vladimir Putin some options. It's believed he still wants to target the capital. I'm just off the phone with the American ambassador to Ukraine. She says that American military hardware has already been brought to bear here in Ukraine. So some of the losses that the Russians are now acknowledging are coming by the Ukrainian Defense Force with the assistance of some American military hardware.
Well, let me follow up on that, because Russia is saying now, according to this statement, 500 of its troops have been killed. This is the first time Russia has even given a number, Aaron, right, of its military casualties. And then Ukraine is saying many more Russian soldiers have been killed. Now, ABC hasn't been able to confirm independently these reports of casualties. So maybe you can add some context here. And also, you know, why do you think Russia is releasing these figures now?
This is the first time in 7 days of fighting the Russians have actually put a number on the number of on the troops that they have lost, about 500. It's far fewer than the Ukrainians say. The Ukrainians believe they've killed maybe 5,000 or more Russian troops since this began. It's an impossible number to independently confirm. 5,000, 6,000 would eclipse 20 years of American losses in Afghanistan. But even if the number is somewhere in there, it does show you the ferocity of the fighting and how formidable the Ukrainian defenses have been. The Russians are probably keen to bury any bad news for domestic consumption. Undoubtedly, the number is probably higher than they're acknowledging. But it comes as the Russians and the Ukrainians are about to sit down on the Polish-Belarus border for a second round of talks aimed at a ceasefire. And it's a significant location, Kira, where these talks are going to be taking place. The same hunting lodge in 1991 was used by the Soviet Union to dissolve itself when Ukraine and Russia and Belarus all got together and dissolved the USSR.
And Phil, the humanitarian crisis, we continue to follow it. It's growing now, with more than half of the refugees escaping Ukraine being taken in by Poland, where you are. Are you getting a sense of the emotional toll that this is just taking on the refugees now? And what's next for them? You've been spending a lot of time and getting to know many of them very well.
Kira, I think the frightening thing is the answer to both of those questions just not known right now, and might not be for quite some time. Aaron is talking about those talks on the Polish-Belarus border. We were just there 2 days ago at a shelter that has been set up for some of these refugees. Take the first question. What kind of toll is this taking on the refugees? My goodness, it's trauma. I mean, you see them coming. It takes days to get across the border. And once they get here, they're either staying with family and friends, or they just have nobody and nowhere to go. And the Polish people are putting them up in shelters. So it is a trauma. And I don't know, you know, some of the refugees we're talking to are just flat out crying. Others have this blank stare on their face. So, you know, everybody's different. Some people have processed this by the time they get here, or they're in the process of processing it. Others are just in a state of shock because they've had to leave everything they know in their home, come over here, women and children, and not know if their dad or their husband is even going to survive the battle. What happens next? Kira, that's unknown as well. They don't know how long they're going to have to be here. They do know they're going to have to settle in for quite some time, though.
And efforts also, Phil, underway helping soldiers as well?
Yeah, we saw that today, Kira. We actually drove past what in American terms would be like an Army-Navy store. But this one was much more than that. We went in and spoke to the owner, who is Ukrainian, like so many who live here in Lublin and in Poland. And he was exhausted, said he's sleeping a couple of hours a day. What he is doing is spending thousands of dollars of his own money. And along with his friends here, they are putting together packages of everything soldiers would need, not just the soldiers, but their friends who are in Ukraine as well. And they are taking all this across the border. He is going across the border and coming back. And we've told you how long it takes to get back. He is just exhausted, but he said, I'm fighting from here. Those are fighting in Ukraine. I'm Ukrainian. I can do what I can from Lublin, Poland. I am fighting from here. And he's getting everything from, supplies, blankets. We saw knives. I don't know what else is going, but he did say he's spending thousands of dollars because he's seeing the pictures we're all seeing on the TV screen right now, and he just can't handle it.
Wow. Phil Lipoff, Aaron Katersky, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.